I caught my wife and her affair partners on camera, then blindsided her with divorce papers. Yes, I caught my wife cheating. A second time. And now I have questions about exposing her and her affair partners. I've been married to my wife, Betty, for 6 years. I travel for work several times a year for training and support, and I never had any reason to suspect her of cheating, until last year. Then I started noticing signs. She was out more, buying new clothes, overly protective of her phone. When I asked her questions, she gave vague and evasive answers. Our sex life wasn't what it used to be either. I had a couple of conversations with her, and she assured me everything was fine, that she was just focused on improving herself. Still not satisfied, I cloned her iPhone to my iPad. And that's when everything came crashing down. I was able to read her texts and emails, including a bunch she tried to delete. It was so much worse than I thought. She wasn't just talking to one guy, it was several. And she had slept with most of them. I took screenshots of everything, including the pictures they traded. She was even meeting them at our house while I was out of town. I spent an entire day at work reading through all the messages, just trying to make sense of it all. I had another trip planned that month, and all I could think about was what would happen while I was gone. So I made a plan. I needed more evidence, the kind she couldn't deny. I rigged up 2 IP cameras, one in the living room, and another in our bedroom, both hooked to my NAS, network area storage. When I got back from my trip, I had more than I'd bargained for. She had 2 different guys over while I was gone. What floored me most was seeing her enjoying things with them, things she never did with me. I did a deep dive and found out all the personal info on the guys she was talking to. Both of the men caught on video were married. One of them is even a deacon at our church. I had another work trip a week later, and yep, I got more footage. A third guy this time. After that, I stayed home for about 3 weeks, keeping a close watch. I volunteered to go on errands with her, helped around the house, just trying to be present and observe. Then I told her I had to go to Phoenix for a few days. She thought I'd be gone for 2 or 3 nights. Sure enough, she set up another date. So I faked a trip to the airport and instead checked into a local hotel. I planned to show up at the house 20 minutes before her date was supposed to arrive. When I got there, I let myself in. She was in the bedroom getting ready, shocked to see me. I showed her the videos and told her I knew everything. I said we were done. She broke down, pleaded with me to stay and work things out. She said she was ashamed and promised to change. I told her if she wanted even a chance to fix it, she would have to cut all contact with these men, and give me a full, truthful list of who she'd slept with and when. If she lied, I'd know, and it would be over. We also had to go to couples counseling to get to the root of why she cheated. In the meantime, I contacted each of her 3 affair partners in person. I showed each of them short video clips and told them, if they contacted my wife again, even a text, I would send the clips and texts to their wives, families, and coworkers. We did therapy, and honestly, things got better. For almost a year. What she never knew is how I originally found out. I could still read her texts and emails. Trust but verify. And then, she started again. She started texting another guy, trading nudes, and falling right back into her old habits. So I set up another fake trip. And once again, she set up another date, at our house. This time, I waited in a rental car parked down the street and watched the guy walk into my house. I waited a few minutes, walked in, and went straight to the bedroom with my cell phone recording. I started yelling, loud. Cursing. Screaming. They both jumped. She was crying, and he was scrambling to get his pants on. He ran out of the house. I turned to my wife. I told her we were done and she needed to leave. She pleaded with me, again, promised to make it up to me, again. But this time, there was nothing left in me to give. No more bargaining. No more talks. Do I feel like an a-hole for recording them and confronting them like this? No. Do I feel bad for how I went about it? Maybe a little. But only because I waited so long to walk away. I told Betty she had 48 hours to confess to her parents and friends about how she threw away our marriage, or I'd start sending out her video highlight reels to everyone. I tracked down her new affair partner and sent their text messages and cell phone footage to his wife. Now Betty, my soon-to-be ex-wife, has called me several times. She's in full panic mode. Her new affair partner told her about the email package his wife received, and now Betty is begging for mercy, pleading with me to stop. At this point, I just want to sit back and watch the world burn. I showed the evidence to my best friend and his wife. My friend said, "Move out." But his wife? She's siding with my darker side. She said, "Expose all of her partners. Go scorched earth." Now I'm torn. I realize I'm still in pain and just want to lash out. I might not be making wise decisions. But the one thing I do know is this. I will not let her spin this breakup into being my fault. Tuesday morning. I got a call from Betty. She was in total shock. She just got served the divorce papers. Kudos to my lawyer for expediting that. She said she understands, but still wants to talk things out. I've spent the last couple of days in a hotel. I told her we could talk when I came home. She said it feels like her life is coming apart at the seams. She got a call from our pastor's wife, saying it would be best if she resigned from the committee she was on at church. 3 out of her 4 affair partners have contacted her, saying their lives have blown up. 2 are confused, because they had followed my suggestion and cut all contact with her in exchange for my silence. Her best friend called her crying, because she and her husband are fighting, after I talked to them the other night. I asked Betty if she had told her family or any of her friends yet. She said just a few. I told her, "I'll be reaching out to them myself soon, unless you do it first." She swore she still loves me and wants to stay with me. I told her, "I should have left you when I found out you cheated the first time." I told her I had read every email and text she sent or received for the last 3 years, along with her Snapchat. That I had copies of everything, even the ones she thought she deleted. There is no way I can trust you. And without trust, there's no future. No love. The only thing left for us to do together is get divorced. And go our separate ways. Let's get a quick reaction from the community. I agree 100% with your friend's wife. Expose everything she's done to anyone who will listen, and some who don't want to hear it. Then ghost her. Let your attorney do all the communication until the divorce is final. My reply. I made my wife write out a timeline of who and when she cheated. Turns out, there were 6 guys. 3 of whom she only saw once or twice. The first guy she hooked up with? One of the guys I caught on tape. I sent out info packages to all the wives this morning. Within minutes, one of them called me back. She asked a lot of questions. Said she had suspected him before, but could never prove it. She thanked me for giving her the closure she needed. The newest affair partner? He got removed from his house by his wife and charged with domestic battery after an argument. He called me to give me a piece of his mind. Made a few threats. Look, you suspected your wife was cheating. You did what any reasonable person would do. When you saw those texts and emails, your heart must have dropped faster than a teenager's grades after discovering video games. Then came the hidden cameras, a genius move. And the revelations kept coming, each one more jaw-dropping than the last. 2 guys in 1 trip? Your wife was more industrious than a squirrel in autumn. Her partners, though? A deacon? Who saw that coming? Therapy brought a brief respite, like a band-aid on a bullet wound. But old habits die hard. And Betty's phone became her confessional once again. Your second sting operation? Bravo. You could teach a master class in deceitful detective work. Now, as you prepare to unleash Betty's greatest hits on an unsuspecting audience, remember. You're not just burning bridges. You're torching the whole damn village. But hey, some men just want to watch the world burn. And you? You've got front row seats, with popcorn in hand. Update, 6 days later. I gathered a large amount of evidence before I confronted my wife, Betty. I gave her 48 hours to tell her friends and family, to take responsibility for wrecking our marriage, before I did. When I reached out to some of our friends, they were either clueless or had heard a very homogenized version of what happened. By then, I had already sent most of the evidence to the wives and colleagues of her prior affair partners. So I took it a step further. I put together a group text to send to all of our friends. It included a Dropbox link with my descriptions of events from the past 2 years. Text messages, a lot. Nude selfies she had sent out, very explicit, X-rated. The timeline she had written of her affairs during our first reconciliation. Snapchats I had saved. 4 videos of her and her affair partners. The last video, and a couple of selfies, were included in the open text and the Dropbox folder. I also included my permission for anyone to get a piece of that. Plus a warning to wives, Betty prefers married men. I sent a similar message and email to her family members. I had been staying at a hotel after confronting her, but I came back to our house just as the text went out. It didn't take long before both our phones blew up. Betty was screaming at me for airing our dirty laundry to the world. My only response? What part of it wasn't true? She has since moved out, either to her sister's or back to her parents' house. Fallout. Her affair partner, who was a deacon at our church, has left the congregation. Our pastor's wife suggested Betty quietly resign from the church committee. 3 out of 4 of her affair partners are now facing divorce. The 4th? Still stuck in purgatory. Her best friend and her husband are now separated. He found out she had been enabling Betty's affairs and keeping it secret from even him. I received a few negative messages, including one from Betty's sister. But the majority of responses were condolences and support. I have a snake of an attorney, and he's in complete control now. I've blocked all contact with Betty. One of the last messages I sent to her and her sister was, "Actions have consequences. You played the long game like a seasoned poker player. And when you finally laid your cards on the table? It was a royal flush of infidelity. The 48-hour ultimatum? Chef's kiss. Giving her just enough rope to hang herself with her own guilt, before you dropped the bomb." The group text with the Dropbox link was a stroke of genius. It was like sending out wedding invitations, except instead of celebrating love, you were commemorating betrayal. The fallout was spectacular. The deacon fleeing the congregation. Betty being gently nudged out of the church by the pastor's wife. Families imploding one by one. Ah, divine retribution. Do you think I handled the evidence like a champ? What would you have done differently? Next up. OP's wife's affair lasted 11 years, proving that sometimes, happily ever after comes with an asterisk. Wife of 38 years had an affair for the past 11 years. I don't even know where to start. I'm hurting like hell. This is the most sickening pain in my chest since my heart attack decades ago. I'm a 68-year-old man. My wife is 66. We've been together for 38 years. Until recently, I thought we were one of the most blessed couples ever. We barely argued. Never laid hands on each other. We'd been through so much together. How I found out? I didn't. My son, 33, lives in another state, came to visit to celebrate his new job as a mechanical engineer. He came to me, not her, with what he had found out. I still don't know how he caught her. God, I feel like such a big effing chump. My son introduced me to Reddit, and that's when I found out she was active in a subreddit called r/adultery. I saw her account. And I vomited. She had posted, in detail, about how much better in bed her lover is. How strong and muscular he is. And how gullible and naive I am. She was a master deceiver. I had full access to her phone and never found anything suspicious. Turns out, she regularly deleted everything. Used hidden apps I'd never even heard of. And I had no clue. Honestly, when I found out about everything, I cried. I don't think I've cried more than maybe 5 times in my adult life. But this broke me. I was nauseating so hard, I vomited all over the floor when I found out. My son stood beside me and showed me the account. Even he teared up. He also told me he had already confronted his mom, and that she had begged him not to tell me. But I'm so glad he did. I'm glad my son told me the truth. I love my son so much. I've tried calling Kelly, she hasn't picked up. And I have a feeling she's not coming back home. Probably with her lover. Honestly, I don't know how you can be so cruel to someone you claim to love. She lied, manipulated me for 11 years. I couldn't be that cruel to someone I hate with every fiber of my being, let alone someone I loved for almost 40 years. Why? Why not just ask for a divorce? Why not ask for one of those open marriage things? I might have even considered it. Why the F*** would you choose instead to ruin 11 years of my life? What the hell did I do to deserve this? I just want to know why. I know my situation is hopeless. I just wanted to write whatever the hell I'm feeling right now. My son told me there are support groups for people like me, and that this subreddit is one of them. I know damn well nothing will change anything now. My situation is just pure agony. So maybe I'm just venting a little. Thanks for the advice. My son has calmed me down enough to stop me from doing anything I'd regret later. I've talked to a lawyer, and he told me to block Kelly from all communication, and only speak through attorneys going forward. He also advised me not to prevent her access to the house, just in case she comes back, for legal reasons. As for therapy, my son already booked a session for me. I'll be going soon. I'm still dazed. But at least I'm not having a panic attack anymore. I joined a subreddit called Support for the Betrayed, and it was sad, but also comforting to see I'm not alone. I'm reading through some books and articles on infidelity now, just to gain insight, maybe some peace of mind. But I'm still baffled that I never caught her once in 11 years. So, yeah? I'm 68, and after nearly 4 decades of what I thought was a blissful marriage, I got blindsided. Not by my wife. By my son. Who came bearing the worst news a father could hear. Not exactly the family reunion I imagined, huh? Finding out through Reddit that your wife was leading a double life online. Yikes. You're right, it's a special kind of cruelty to deceive someone who trusts you completely. You feel like you've been living in a house of cards, and it just took one gust of wind to bring it all crashing down. But let's focus on what silver linings might exist. Asterisk, you've got a solid lawyer. Asterisk, you're taking the right steps, blocking her, limiting contact, handling things legally. Asterisk, your son is a rock. Booking therapy? Being your support? That's priceless. Asterisk, you're joining support groups, reading, and beginning to rebuild. You can't erase the last 11 years. But you can write the next chapter. So vent. Scream into the void if you have to. You've earned that right. And remember, this isn't about what you did to deserve this. It's about who she chose to be, selfish, deceitful, and cruel. Now it's about how you rise from the ashes of this betrayal. And how you reclaim your peace of mind. Cheers to new beginnings, however bittersweet they may be.